Come in. Anybody. Does this radio even work? I pushed a button. I'm pushing the button again. Does somebody come in? Can anybody hear me? Oh, I am so operating operationally. You should see me now. Somebody listen. Someone, come in. Hey guys, Gary here. Thanks for checking in. Last year sometime I did a video on these Quanshang radios and how they were more water resistant than a Baofeng. A bunch of you used the provided links to get some because I saw all the data from clicking my link. Actually, y'all made me like a couple $100, so I think we fucking sold Amazon out of Quanshangs. So I appreciate it. I bought a lot of like hookers and blow with that money. All right, it wasn't really like that much money, but I do appreciate it. So got these Quanshangs. A bunch of the guys in our study group still use Baofangs, and they have their pluses and minuses. But we were on this journey to figure out the best radio, like comparing the two, and the best way to use the radios in like a team environment. Not your typical ham enthusiast, you know, skipping off the ionosphere and stuff, but you know, I need to talk to you over there without just fucking yelling. And so we went on this journey together. We took some classes. We took a couple of classes on how to set up emergency communications networks, which radios played a part of. And that was the idea behind it was to take groups of people and make sure they could communicate with each other. And that wasn't exactly what we were working on using our radios for. So then we took some other classes and about how to communicate amongst a team that radios were a part of. And like it seemed like a lot of classes that talk about these radios start with, well, once you got the radio set up, and then they go on with the rest of the instructional blocks. And setting up the radio is more than just plugging it into Chirp, which doesn't work on the Quanshang, or the software that comes with this, and putting some frequencies in. There's a lot more to make this radio work well the way you want it to work, and then using it amongst your team. So we put together a bunch of bullet points and almost like a complete presentation on working the radio. Not how to communicate with your team, you know, Roger, Roger, over and out, 10-4, go buddy, and not how to select the frequencies that, you know, go over 7 mountains and drop down behind another antenna, you know, like that kind of stuff. In fact, when I got mine, I wasn't even a licensed ham operator. I am now, but I don't do the stuff that ham operators do. So we have this presentation, and a bunch of people have been asking for me to share that information with them. So I talked to my main radio guy, Mike, and I said, hey, we got dudes asking if this can be a class, and what do you think? And he's like, I haven't been thinking about it in the format of a class. So mostly Mike, mostly all Mike, sat down and put a class together on operating a radio. So we have now a class for operating the radio. Radio Ops Primer. And primer, saying that it's the first thing. It's to get ready to go do something like the bug out primer. It's going to be like 8 hours, a whole day, with a radio in hand. Like every moment you'll have a radio. Like we have extra radios if you don't have a radio, and you can compare them. Whether it's a Baofeng, this is my working Baofeng, or if it's like some of these Quanshangs, you can compare the two, or even like what I'm using now with this Yaesu. You know, if you there'll be other radios there for you to poke and prod, as well as the one in your hand. So the whole time that we're going over this instruction, you're going to have a radio, and we're going to be working the radios together. And it will culminate with us leaving the classroom and using the radios on an op. Harleys. Not so much an op, but to go out and communicate with each other and see what the radio will actually do once we know how to run it and it is optimized for what we want to do with it. So we're doing a class on it. First one is September 20th at Rock God Brewing Company in Danville. It's a Sunday. It's like 10 in the morning till later in the afternoon. There's a link down below. Right now, it's the intro price. We knocked $25 off of it, and we'll run that for a little while. When the room fills up, then we're through. So if you want to come out and figure out how all these affordable radios work, we got a class for you. If you know how radios work, this probably ain't the class for you. Anything that says primer is not really meant for an expert. So it's okay if you say, man, I got this. I know how the radio operates. I know how to set it up and make it do the things I want and work it with my team. If you don't, come on out and we'll get you squared away in that. Thanks for stopping by. Take it easy. Pro YouTube tip number 673. When you're on the range and you're filming and you need ear pro, you can wear your expensive issued ear pro. However, when it's not plugged into anything, you can take the microphone and move it completely out of the way of your face. Fucking amazing. And if you like these pro YouTube tips, go ahead and smash that subscribe button.